Hi everyone. Today we'll see how can we practice for CKAD examination, that is Certified Kubernetes Application Developer. There are a good number of information that is available over the internet, but I found one particular repository which has comprehensive details about the CKAD exercises. So we'll see how can we solve those questions. This will be helpful for people who are just starting off about Kubernetes and who wants to prepare for the examination. Hope you may find these series of videos helpful. So, without wasting time, let's open Safari browser, and so we have. You can just type CKAD exercises. You can Google it. The first link shows this particular Git repository, and so basically I'm not talking. I don't want to focus my time on um, the Kubernetes concepts or anything like that. This video will serve more in terms of how can you prepare for the examination, right? The examination focuses on these seven concepts around Kubernetes. So basically, core concepts, multi-container pods, how can you design the pod, the configuration, observability, networking, and persistent volumes and persistent volume claim. As a developer, how can you you need to be focused on these concepts. So core concepts, there are a set of questions here. We'll try to solve them. I have Cube already installed on my laptop. Check the status. It is up and running. But and let's see what it says. The first question talks about creating the namespace and you pod with image nginx called nginx on this namespace. So let's do that. For this, right, we'll use aliases, which will be helpful during the examination. It will save your time. Um, it will save your time during examinations. Better to have aliases and better to use imperative commands as well. And yeah, so this is for the creation of the pod. I'm just creating alias and just mentioning don't create immediately, but instead generate me the YAML file. So this particular command will help me to do that. And I can also have a alias for KNS because these commands will be using now and then. It's better to have your alias, right? Now I'll create my namespace using this alias. Right? So you have your namespace called my namespace created. Now let's try to create a pod called nginx. So I'm using KCP and it will take the pod name and image name is nginx, and it needs to be created on my namespace, right? So basically let's generate the YAML file for this, right? We can see here, say first question. It's better to have instead of creating it directly, right? It's better to generate the YAML file using imperative commands, and it will help you to see the names and uh, whether you have typed correctly or not. So this will be very useful. Here, namespace, we can add it here. I have not mentioned it earlier. You can say something like this. Space. Okay, the spelling is good. The pod name is Nginx. Container name is also Nginx. Excellent. This is good. And just we can have one more alias for creation of when you're creating, when you're reading it from YAML file. We'll use command called kubectl create -f. Shortly, we'll just let's call it as KCF. KCF1.yaml. You have excellent. Your pod got created. Now, I'll just say k get pods minus that is dash n my namespace. Let's see, 14 seconds back it got created, right? So that is one way. Or otherwise, you can have you can create alias for your get pods as well. So this will be really as useful since you will be getting 23 questions and CKAD examination, and you have 2 hours, I believe. So you have, let's open calculator. You have 120 minutes, and you have got 23 questions, I believe. So it's close to 5 minutes. You will get 29 questions. I don't remember. I think it was 29. 120 divided by 29. I don't remember. I've mentioned it somewhere in my blog as well. The exact time. 1 second, let me see. Medium, CKAD, prep notes. Okay, so I've also captured details about the CKAD preparation as well. Yeah, so basically you will get 19 questions in 2 hours. So it is 120 divided by 19. So you get approximately 6 minutes, 30 seconds for each of the question, right? So time plays very crucial role here, right? So aliases will help to, to have your faster. 1 second, let me close this. Okay, and where are we? Yeah, so the first question is done. Let's move to the second one. Second one talks about create the pod using YAML only. I think we have followed creation of the pod using YAML only. Let's go back to the third one. Create a busybox pod using kubectl command and run the command env, run it and see the output. So since it has not mentioned about any namespace, we are assuming that so we can create the pod in default namespace. So I'll just say I'll make use of my KCP alias. I'll give the pod name as busybox and image is busybox here. So let's see. Yeah, so it has created this one, but the question also talks about to run the command called env. So basically we can have a command as well, just mention it as env. So now you can see here it has generated kind called pod file, pod yaml, and image is busybox, and name also busybox, and the arguments it has taken, basically it's trying to run the env command. So let's redirect this to a file, and let me make use of my command kcf3.yaml. So and let me see what is happening here. So basically -w it watches on your pod creation. -w switch. Yeah, so it's completed. Once the pod execution is completed, you can see the status by you can see what it has printed. So you can say klogs busybox. You can see the command execution. Since we have run env command, it has printed my environment values here, right? So these are all my environment variables and its values here. So far so good. Move on to the next question. This is done. Now the fourth one is create a busybox pod using YAML that runs the command env. Run it, see how the output. I think this covers both are same here. So I prefer using YAML instead of running it directly. The reason being is so it will give you time for the correction. If there is a spelling mistake in the pod name or image name, right, or let's say the commands, it gives you ample amount of time to correct it before actually creating it. So the preference is you use imperative commands, generate in the form of YAML file, double check it whether it is correct or not, then go ahead and with the creation part. So the next one is get the YAML for the namespace myns without creating it. So this is easy. Just say create namespace. Create namespace. We have KCN alias. Why don't we use that? And INS, and question talks about not to create it. So we can just say like this. Oh, looks like I don't have the alias called create namespace. I thought it was created. Search to KNS. Sorry, create namespace. KNS was my alias name. Sorry about that. It was not KCN. So let's say KNS. Let me go and alias name was KNS. Okay. So okay. So one mistake I've done is basically I need to tell what is the format that I need to look for. So basically, I need to specify the output as YAML, not client. Okay, so that was a mistake. So you can see here, it has generated YAML file of kind namespace, and you can see the name as well. Yeah. So the question talks about just generate the YAML file, not to create it. Okay, so which we have done it here, right, without creating it. So get the YAML for resource quota called myrq with hard limits of 1 CPU, 1 gig memory, and 2 pods without creating it. So we can do that. So basically we have something called kubectl create quota, and yeah, so it is mentioned about some hard limits. CPU is 1, memory is 2 gig, memory is also 1 gig, 1 gig, and ports it says 2, replicas I believe 2, and so let me do a dry run, and I want this output in the form of YAML file. So okay, create quota, hard CPU 1, memory 1 gig, ports replicas. I think we are good here. Okay, so replicas. So what I have done here, oh, there was no replica, sorry, my bad here. It's just the ports. I don't know why I'm doing these mistakes. Simple ones, get create quota or queue. There you go. more. Oh, okay. So basically, whenever it says that the quantities match, it means that the units for CPU or memory ensure that you are following the proper. Here it was in lowercase, ideally it was in uppercase. So you can see here, a kind of resource quota has been generated, and you can see the kind is resource quota, and there are some hard limits on your CPU, memory, and pods. So the question again asks you not to create it without creating it. So which we have done it. And the other one is get pods on all namespaces. If you want to get pods on all namespaces, just say get pods, get pods, and all namespaces. This is the switch you need to use. So this shows you um, your pods across all namespaces. Default, since there is only one pod, it shows here, and the rest are related to your kube system namespace. So the one, since I have installed Minikube here, you can see the namespaces related to uh, Minikube. Okay, so that is done. The other one is create a pod with image nginx called nginx and expose traffic on port 80. So what I have here, busybox only, right? I don't have nginx here. So I can create a pod with image nginx called nginx and expose the traffic, it says. Again, I can make use of my KCP command, alias. It takes the image is nginx, and image, sorry, pod name is nginx, image is also nginx, and it's telling me to expose the traffic on port 80. So basically, whenever you in questions it talks about expose, means you need to expose the service. You can make use of this particular switch called expose and the port number here. See what happens. Yeah, so you can see here, along with the pod, we can also find the service kind called nginx, and it has created basically in the YAML file. It is not yet created. We have just generated the YAML file. You can see the port number is 80, and the target port is also 80, and selector is on nginx. So your pod is nginx, right? And so basically it is telling um, to have this service on the pod called nginx, right? So which it has done successfully. Now we can redirect to a YAML file here. I think fifth or sixth question. Okay, this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Just mention it as 8.yaml. Okay, so I can say kcf 8.yaml. So both the service and pod have been created. So let's see. So if you want to see the status of pods and service, you can just make use of delimiter comma here. You see both are running. Excellent. Nginx and nginx service pod and service both are running. Okay, so next question is change pod image to nginx 171. Observe that the container will be restarted soon as the image gets pulled. Yeah, so now the question asks us to set the image of your pod nginx to a specific version. So that is 171. So has been created. So let's see that it's describe for nginx, just say grep minus I image, see what is happening. So it has successfully pulled the image here, which is 171 here. Excellent. The next question talks about get nginx pod IP created in previous step. Use the temp busybox image to get its root. So we can uh, use temporary busybox image and see whether we are able to do a duplicate or not on nginx root. So I can run these commands, right, to get the IP address. Before that, if you want to run temporary busybox, so make use of imperative commands like krun busybox image is busybox, and since this is a pod, you don't just mention it as restart is equal to never, and once it is done, we are telling it to delete it, right? And let's run wget uh, command on nginx. So this is the IP address, and it is exposed on port 80. Let's run it. Since it is a root, I am not mentioning anything, just run like this. Okay, so we are seeing error. The reason being is looks like busybox was previously we have created busybox, right? Let's delete that. So I'm using grace period is equal to 0 because it will do immediate deletion or it to wait. So this will be really helpful during examination. Yeah. So basically what it has done is it has created a pod called busybox with container image as busybox only, and after once the creation is done, it tries to hit the nginx root, and here it clearly says that you can see the HTML file welcome to nginx, and once it is done, your pod deletion is happening. So this is done, and now it says us to get the pod YAML file, right? So this is my pod nginx, and if you want to get the output the form of YAML file, just say get pod nginx -o YAML. So you can see here it has generated the YAML file, and in the next questions we'll see how can we make use of these files to edit something and delete the existing pod and create something new. So very useful command. So this is done. Let's go about get information about the pod, including details uh, about the potential issues. Okay, get information about the pod, including details about potential issues. So if you want to see details, right, you can just say logs nginx. It will give you information about your pod. Klogs command is, yeah, this is also the same thing. Get pod logs. If the pod got if the pod crash and restarted, get logs about the previous instance. So for this, you can use logs nginx -p. So it gives you detail about your previous details, like I can see here a previous instance. So it will give you information about your previous instance as well. So klogs nginx -p. So execute a simple shell on the nginx pod. So if you want to execute simple shell, just say kexec dash it and your port name. Just say nsh. You can type echo to Kubernetes using something like this. Okay, I know this problem. Okay, so since I'm not, since the command was expecting the codes, right? We need to mention that. So I'm just saying I'm trying to execute a simple command on this pod container. In order to execute it, you just say kexec -it interactive mode and your pod name. Okay, so let's go back to the next question. Create a busy box pod that echoes hello's world and then exits. So I think we have done similar question like this. So if you want to execute, so we can just say here run busy box image is equal to busy box, and we want it to get deleted after the execution of our uh, to get it deleted after the execution of this command. Since we are creating a temporary busy box, I'm using -rm command here, right? And I can just type echo this is temporary. Okay, so it has it has created the pod, then executed the command, and it has deleted the pod here. Excellent. This is also done. It says do the same but have the pod deleted automatically when it's completed. Okay, so basically I have executed this one instead of this one. Yeah, so since I have used rm command, don't use rm command. Basically it will stay, your busy box will stay and it will just run this command. The next question talks about deleting the pod automatically, right? Then use this switch, rm switch. Apologies. Okay, so the other one is create an nginx pod set env var1 is equal to val1. Check the value's existence within the pod. So let's go and see. We have already got nginx pod. We'll delete this and say we'll just run our nginx creation using imperative commands, and we'll make use of our environment variables. var1 is equal to val1. var1 is equal to val1, and it has created the pod. It has generated the YAML file, not created the pod. Basically it has created the basically it is showing you the generation of YAML file, right? And you can also see the environment name and value, var1 and val1. And let's redirect to a file. I don't remember the question number. I'll just say lost.yaml. This is the last question on that topic. I'll say kcf, which stands for kubectl create -f, and just say lost.yaml. Say kgp. It says that it is creating, it is running. Excellent. And question talks about go to this pod container and see whether you have your environment variable set. So there you go. So you have your environment variable set. So with this, the first topic has been done. We'll cover about the next topics in different videos. Thanks everyone. Bye.